The topic is, should I accept assignment of benefits once we are out of network? Many practices, hundreds of them in the last several years, have slowly started dropping PPO plans. Thanks to the Reducing Insurance Dependence Academy, thanks to this podcast, I think we have inspired a lot of those people. And this is the question that Gary gets a lot. You know what? I've dropped a particular PPO plan. I'm no longer in network with that plan. Should I accept assignment of benefits? What's your recommendation? So, Gary, I'm really glad we are dedicating an episode today for this topic and answering this question.
Yeah, this is an important question. It comes up all the time. And like the answer to so many questions, my first answer to that question is, it depends. It depends. And let me explain that. Now, let's clarify. I don't want to assume anything here. Let me go ahead and create some definitions. What does it mean to accept assignment of benefits? That means you check the box on the claim form that authorizes the insurance company to send you the check. So you're getting the check, you're accepting the benefits rather than the check going to the patient. Okay. And when it comes to it depends, some dental insurance companies, once you're out of network, will not allow you to accept assignment of benefits. The most notorious on that one is the 5,000-pound bully gorilla, Delta Dental. Now, let me get granular in details about that. Typically, the state that you're in other words, if you're in the state of California, I'm just making up an example, your patients that have Delta of California will not allow you to accept assignment of benefits for those patients. And they do that intentionally to create more trouble for you. If you're not going to accept assignment of benefits, it means you need to collect payment in full from the patient at the time of service. Now, Naren, how popular do you think that is in the mind of the patient? Remember, when you're in network, and typically for an adult hygiene appointment, let's use the adult hygiene appointment as an example. That's the most common service that most people reference, their visits to your office on. When you're in network, typically, assuming you've met certain requirements, meaning that a hygiene appointment hasn't been made in less than 6 months, then typically that's covered at 100%, meaning that the patient doesn't have any copayment, none. But now you go out of network, and if it's a Delta of California, in our example, they're going to send the check to the patient. So now you have to collect payment in full. You should collect payment in full, I should say, because Delta is going to send the patient the check. And they do that because they know that for a lot of doctors, they're going to squirm. A lot of dentists are going to say, oh, my patients are going to be so upset they have to pay a time of service, and I don't think we can do that, and I better stay in network. That's exactly why they do it. However, interestingly enough, what we've discovered, we have clients in all the states, and if the Delta organization is outside of your state, then they will often allow you to accept assignment of benefits. So if you're in California and you have a patient Delta of Oregon, Delta of Idaho, Delta of Nevada, they will often allow you to accept assignment of benefits for those cases. And my recommendation is that if the insurance company will allow you to accept assignment of benefits, I would agree to do that, because it's just one less hurdle for the patient to jump through. It makes it more friendly to the patient. Now, let's recognize the consequences of that. It does mean you have to do a little bit more management, in terms of monitoring, those payments that are due from the insurance company. However, that's something that any of our listeners should be able to do, very competently, very efficiently, very accurately. And there's systems to handle that really well. So I would trade off being a little more friendly to the patient by accepting the assignment of benefits for the consequences of it being a little bit more management than what you're currently, than if you collected at time of service. And that's a good trade-off, in my opinion. So what we're seeing a lot, like, for example, Naren, you're probably aware of the fact that one of the trends that's happening in the United States right now is more people than ever are moving around. They're moving. And I don't mean moving like down the street. They're moving out of state. Do you recognize that, Naren?
Yeah, I think especially after COVID, like, for example, a lot of people are leaving California and New York, and places like Texas and Florida are getting a lot of those people.
Right.
Like
I don't know
even
if you're experiencing
companies.
that in the provinces in Canada. Are you seeing that to any degree in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, Canada, I think there's an influx of people coming in.
But I mean,
Possibly,
moving around from province to province.
it did happen a little bit right after COVID. Like, for example, I know my neighbors, they're both retired, and they're like, why are we living in Ontario when we could be living by the ski hills because we love skiing and,
But now that's more of a
lifestyle
lifestyle decision.
lifestyle decision. Yeah. So I mean, they're like, we have 10 more good years and we really don't have any job holding us here. So why are we sitting here? We might as well go close to, the activity we'll enjoy, which is hiking and,
Well, I have a
skiing.
little different perspective. I think all your provinces are messed up, every one of them politically, and as a result, they don't get any benefit from moving from one province to another.
Yeah.
However, in the United States, there's very different styles of governance regarding our states, and so you're absolutely correct. Many people from California are relocating; they're leaving.
Yeah.
They're going primarily to Texas, to Florida. However, adjacent states are getting an influx as well. Arizona, where I am, are getting a lot of Californians. Nevada as well. Idaho as well. So if you're in let's change the example to if you are in Texas, and likely Delta of Texas will not allow you to accept assignment of benefits. However, all those patients that have Delta of California, you can accept assignment of benefits on those. And if they allow you to accept assignment of benefits, I would check that box because it just makes it a more friendly process for your patients.